Yo, sit down, because I got something to explain to you to what has just happened between Villa and United. Because half of you are gonna get this wrong in the comment section, and I can feel it in my gut feeling right now. Yeah, United did not just sign Tielemans in a normal way. There was no United enter talks. There was no United interested FC. There was no United monetary FC. There was no United considering a bid FC. There was no United negotiating FC. And there was no this, that, too much noise FC. They are on on Twitter, and there was no 30 million, the 30 million opening bid rejected FC. None of that soap opera. United looked at Villa's contract, looked at the loopholes, and saw there was a release clause in there and activated that 35 million pounds, and they just paid it like a subscription renewal deal. Wheeler did not get a vote. Wheeler did not get a say in this because you all know, for those who watch football, for all those who watch football, you know what happens with a release clause when it's triggered. It is bypasses the club to club negotiation and it goes to club to player negotiations. That what quickens a deal. Yeah, and Villa and the selling club has no say at all in that. Once you activate a release clause, the selling club has no say in it, and now it's between you and the player. The player can refuse to come to your club, or or agree to come to your club. Once the player agreed to come to your club, the deal is done. Yeah, yeah. Villa did not want to sell, bro. They even offered this man a new contract a few months ago. That doesn't matter. The clause says that 5 million. United said bet, and that was that. And look, I'm going to put this context for you because the last time United went this hard for a central midfielder on a random Tuesday like this was Donny van der Beek, because let's be honest, how many of us remember how that Donny van der Beek deal was signed? It was random. We didn't even know those were going to sign Donny van der Beek. Just like the same way we didn't know we're going to sign Tillsman, and it was all done and wrapped quietly underneath. And we all did know all of this will happen because of those other things. And yeah, mm, it was done by the big, and we all knew how that went. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that salesman will end up his fate will end up like Donny van the big straight, but Santos had links too. He still had links too, but that was quiet. It built over weeks. But this one dropped like a bomb. And so, yeah, we need to talk about this tail potpourri. And I know I was on a stream with another YouTuber when the Here We Go dropped live, or when I was in his stream. And I gave a shallow analysis on the guy because I didn't know what to say. I was over the moon about it. And I sat down and told myself, my audience, my football overseas fans, the people who subscribe to my channel deserve better. They deserve a better analysis. So I came a deeper, and I decided to personally come with this video that I'll tell you about. So make sure, yeah. So so yeah, we need to talk about this potpourri, and we will right now. And let's start off. Okay, first things first, let us sit with the numbers for a second. That 5 million fixed. No add-ons, no bonuses, no installments, nothing odd down the line. Fixed. That 5 million paid direct. It is clean, it's locked because Villa cannot squeeze more out of it, and that's something I love out of it. I'm tired of United going into transfer windows where selling clubs squeeze every penny out of us because that's because we are united. And this is a statement signing because number one, Villa cannot squeeze anymore. Once it's 35 million, it's 35 million. There's no bonuses added on. There's no add-ons added on. 35 million fixed. Yeah. And that's what I love about it. And also, and United cannot haggle it down. Yeah, United cannot haggle it down because you know how long it takes. It drains United fans. Man United, when a selling club puts uh, a demand of 70 million and United takes 4 to 5 weeks or 6 weeks to negotiate it down and to even and eventually to even pay that 20 million because you are like, why take those 6 weeks when you could just pay it directly? Yeah, and this kind of structure helps us fund because it was quick, efficient, and United just paid it. And we're like, why can't we do more like this more often? Yeah, and that's actually rare in this market because usually goes usually got some sell-on percentage buried in some prints, but this one doesn't at all. And you got to remember the timing. This came right after Ederson deal fell through on medicals. So the noise online is, or it's a panic plan B. And yeah, it is a kinda panic plan B option, but it is a really cheap deal, clean, public. It's a clean panic plan B. So I'm not mad about it. If if I'm United, I'm a United fan. I'm not mad about it. Yeah, and yeah. And let's move on to the short number because he didn't just choose number 18 for the sake of it. We are for all those who knew and for those who watch football is a player cannot choose a random number for the sake of it. So yeah, so right here, he's a bit that got me typing in caps when I saw it. And Tillsman has won the number 8 literally everywhere. Villa, Leicester, Monaco, and that's his number. That is identity. That's the same way how when Jose Romero goes to clubs, he has his magic number M. Tillsman, his trademark is number 18. We all know him for number 18, for inch at number 18. And that's what we know him for. He worked at Villa, he worked at Leicester, and he worked at Monaco. That is number, that is identity. But obviously, we know at United he cannot wait because Bruno, our magnificent captain, has number 18 at United. So that's gone. Fine. So what does he pick? Does he go to number 21? That was his Leicester backup number that he wore. Does he go to number 6? That was his Belgium number. Kinda Belgium. That was Pogba's number. Or does he go to number 17? His old Monaco number. Now he takes the number 18. And I want you guys to comment down in the comments who wore the shirt number 18 last season. It was Casemiro, right? Bro, you don't end up with that number. That's a statement. That's a statement when you pick the number 18, especially knowing how much impact Casemiro has had for United. Even though it was towards the end, that's a statement pick, and that tells you something about his character. Yeah, that's United basically saying out loud, this is who is inheriting that seat. It is Tillsman inheriting the seat of Casemiro. Whether that is where pressure to put on him or not, that is a different conversation. But that symbolism is loud enough. So okay, but okay, let me be honest. Who is he actually replacing? So here's where I need you to actually listen instead of just wiping off the short number thing. Because I see people saying he's a new Casemiro. No, 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 no. That's a wrong profile completely. Casemiro was a destroyer. He was a screen in front of a back four. This man is not that. Looking at the red data that I bring up right now, live. I bring it up. Yeah, yeah. Look at this red that. Yeah, look at this red data. Looking at the red data, the dude's possession 1%. Yeah. The dude's possession 1% is 56.3. That's fine, but it's not bad. But it's nowhere near the percentile of Ikate and Santos. He's not walking in to win you to win the ball to win you the ball back. No, no. What is elite at and where you can see his numbers are at is his key passes. Look at that key passes. 76.4 key passes, 81.3 progressive passes, best in the entire midfield group by miles out of these four because this midfield pivot group is Benu, Ikate, Santos. Two exiting, two existing players, two new signings. Yes, and he's the best in the entire midfield block group by miles in key passes and progressive passes. This man is a passer and a creator fast. He's a Bruno Fernandes in that pivot. Yeah, he's a Bruno Fernandes in that pivot. Finally, we have a Bruno Fernandes kind of person in that pivot. And Bruno Fernandes can focus on being Bruno in the attack, while Salesman can beat Bruno in the midfield. Yes. So forget about Casemiro. Forget about the all Lampard's comparisons that he was linked to when he was 19 years old. That's show it away. That was 19 years old. Edelish Tillsman bringing in goals from midfield. That and he's not that player 15 years late. And that not and that's and that's not the same player 15 years later. That the actual comparison I think is the sharpest way to describe the current Tillsman than the before Tillsman when he was emerging into the football scene. When he was emerging, he was compared to Frank Lampard of Chelsea. But what I would say, the current Tillsman is is a replacement for Ericsson, who has left long time ago. Ericsson, his profile was a deep lane, tempo controlling, and long range strike, elite rotation playmaker. And that's a role United has been missing since Ericsson departed the club. Yes, it's not a destroyer, but it is a conductor. And that's what United needed in that midfield. We needed a conductor in that midfield, and that's what we have, a conductor in that midfield. Yeah, and that's what we need. Also, it also means, and I need you to hear this, it does not fix United's ball winning problem. United still needs a ball winner, and Ineos go and sign a ball winner for us. And we still need to sign a ball winning CDM. Don't get don't get relaxed about it. We still need a ball winning CDM to in that midfield. Yeah. If anything, he's a softest presser of the group. He needs a proper number six next to him at all times, or this does not work. Also, another thing, and yeah, now the part everyone is scared to say it out loud because no one will say it out loud. It's time to talk about his injury history. Yeah, you know it. That's a part everyone does not want to talk about in a player. The 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 injury history. Yeah. So, all right, the injury history. Let's rip the plaster off and his injury history. I'm going to load it right now. Right now. hmm So this is Tillman's injury history. Yeah, he has played he has he has played he has had 335 days in his entire career out injured. That is 58 games missed. He's injured in 7 out of 15 senior seasons. That's basically 47% injured. On paper, it sounds rough, right? I know it sounds rough. I know it, right? Am I right about that? It sounds rough, but this is important. It's split, and this is important because it's split by era. Earlier by the career, Endelech and Monaco days, it is ankle ligaments injuries, ankle ligaments, and Minnesota knock. These are one of climatic stuff, the kind of thing that happens to literally any young footballer. That's not a pattern, and that's just football on its own. That's what happens to any. That can happen to literally any young footballer. It can happen to Kobe. Those two kind of injuries. The last few seasons, though, Leicester and especially Villa, it is calf and it is growing over and over again. That is a different animal, and that's an aging, soft tissue signature kind of injury. Simple. That our body started to complain from accumulated mileage and playing a lot of games. And here's the stats that actually worries me a little bit. His worst injury season at his entire career was 112 days out, 23 games missed, and that was this past season, 25-26 last season. Yeah, and that was the last season when he was at Villa, right before he signs for United at 39 years old. That's what worries me the most, and that's what sends me shivers down my spines because of that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and scream, Tilsman is look show 2.0. No, no, at you. No, because that is lazy and it's not true. It is no, it's not true. It's also impossible to have zero injuries and zero structural damage because that man never had the man has never had no surgeries or zero structural damage because the man has never had anything career threatening. But the clean line is pointed the wrong way at exactly the age where things usually get worse than get better, not better. So if you're at United, you should not build Tillsman. You should not look at United signing Tillsman, assuming he's going to play 50 games a season. No, no, no. You should just assume he's a rotational player from the one because his body, not a league, not a pressure, his own body is a single biggest risk in this transfer. If you put him expectations of playing 50 games a season, the man, I'm telling you right now, the man will disappoint you. His injury record, that man's injury record will disappoint you. Yeah. And knowing how our medical staff are, that 47.56%, that worries me. That very, very much worries me. That percentage can go up at United to 57%, and we all know how United's board is. Yeah, so that's a red flag that I've noted time and time over again, is that as well. So watch out. Um, yeah. Another thing I want to say is, okay, the palette, okay, the palette cleanser, okay, the palette cleanser, because that last bit was heavy. Here's a stat that makes me like this siding more. It is the discipline. In 579 career games, there's zero and five for discipline. Sorry. Yeah. So Tillsman's suspension history is a palette cleanser. I'm washing my hands there because I've made you guys panicked a bit more. But let's move to the positive side of you. And here's a stat that makes me like this signing a bit more. In 579 career games, there's zero red cards, zero second yellows, and he has never been sent off in his entire career. For a centre midfielder who tackles, breaks up play, that is genuinely rare. And in a career that's long of 12 years, wow, that is rare, rare, rare. When you talk about rare, that is completely rare. So whatever unpredictability you're worried about this man, it's not about his temper. He's not going to get himself sent off in a derby, and it's not going to leave you down to 10 men in a cup final. The only unpredictable variable here is physical, not emotional, which honestly makes him easier to plan around than half than half the hot lead heads in this league. Now, also something else I want to talk about is the timing we're signing him at. We're signing him after the World Cup. And now, let me tell you why. Even with everything I've said, I still think this is a genuinely exciting signing. Well, World Cup Belgium captain round of 32. Senegal. Belgium were down 2-0. This man drags them level with a late equalizer, and game goes to extra time. 124 minutes, 44 seconds on the clock, deep down into stoppage. Tielemans steps up and buries the winning penalty. This is officially the latest goal ever scored in a World Cup match ever in the history of the tournament. Even though Belgium ended up being knocked out by by Spain later on, in the quarterfinals. The man carried Belgium that midfield, and you have to give the man flowers where it deserves. Yeah, and that is officially the latest goal ever scored in a World Cup match ever in the history of the tournament, and he got an 8.5 match rating for that match against Senegal. He across the tournament, he as captain, 5 games, 2 goals, 90%, 90% pass completion. And when people ask, is this just a spreadsheet signing? No, I will not say it's a spreadsheet signing. This is a guy who, on the biggest stage football has to offer, it is the World Cup, with his 30 season on the line, did not blink, and that not a percentile, that not a percentage I can tell you on the radar. That is about character. That's what I'm talking about. He's Tillman's character, and that's why United fans like me should be a little bit excited underneath all the fee and injury discourse because he has an amazing character. Amazing. But we're not done. But yeah, but we're not done yet. Now now let me now don't let me send you away thinking the job's done, midfield sorted, because it's not. Even with Tielemans and Santos in, look at the radar and shapes again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, looking at the radar shapes again. Yeah, looking at the radar shapes again. Uh-huh. What was that? Look at the radar shapes again. Menu carries can carry the ball, but is weak in duels. Gate wins the duels all day, but he gets basically nothing. Santos wins duels too, but doesn't really carry. And Tillsman creates beautifully, but does not win the ball or carry it forward much either. But nobody in that midfield can combine ball winning with elite carrying, and that gap is still wide open. With the Gates SL putting him out for months, that gap that's that gap just got even more exposed. Tillsman is generally a good, smart, low risk signing. Is generally a good, smart, low risk signing. But if it but it's not a final piece. United still need one more name in that edging room. Yeah, in that edging room, and they need a person, ball winning creative person as backup. Yeah, ball winning midfielder as backup to Santos. Yeah, but apart from that, now let's wrap it up properly because I want your text. Villa fans, he just lost a captain. I want you to comment down. Villa fans, he just lost a captain in waiting for a fixed fee with no comeback, no sell on, nothing. Are you actually gutted about the departure of Tillsman, or are you quietly happy to bank that 5 million for a 39-year-old with a rising history, the rising injury curve? Be honest in the chats in the comment section. And a question to United fans is this that I want to question is this. United fans generally, does this feel like the missing creative piece next to Bruno, or does it feel like makes sense on paper, added to mid makes sense on paper, name added to a midfield that still does not quite fit together? I want answers, not just vibes. And any new clothes watching this, is this rebuild of the midfield actually going to work, or is this just United collecting good players and hoping the chemistry sorts itself out? And if you're in my comment to hate, I'm cool. I'll welcome that, but come with at least statistics, come with figures, come with facts, because I've given you all of them tonight, today, or whatever period of the day you're watching at. I've given you the injury numbers, I've given you the discipline record, I've given you the position breakdown, given you the World Cup tapes, and I've given you and you can argue with that and not the vibes. And before you go, be my honest, ruthless prediction, and not one as a fanboy as I am of United. Across the 5 year deal, I got him winning one FA Cup, one Carabao Cup, one Europa League, and that's it. Do you agree with me or disagree? If you do, tell me why in the comments right now. And this has been this transfer analysis has been brought to you by Deep Rona Football was his official transfer analysis show. This has been brought to you by United Fortline. in Man United show for Football Overseas YouTube channel. And this is Football Overseas, your favorite sports hub where passion meets sports. And and if you have made it this far, and you already know what to do, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah.